Welcome to the Fireside Chat on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network by Run Try Bike. We have Loehr Young with us today. Loehr is a friend of the Run Try Bike community, and I interviewed him for our How It All Started feature a few years ago. Because of that conversation, I have followed him ever since and have been enamored with the things that he does on a daily basis. During our conversation with Loehr today, we're going to talk about his start in endurance sports, BMX racing as a kid, his battle with darkness, the amazing tattoo on his arm that had me mesmerized when we chatted a couple of years ago, as well as his newest saying, "Did you get your 4% in?" Before we bring Loehr on the show, please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform. And you can also leave a comment if you're using Spotify for your podcasts. There are 9 shows to choose from with various stories and hosts. I'm sure you will find one or all of them to your liking. Let's bring Loehr from the back room and get to chatting with him about his start in endurance sports to where he is today. Hey, Loehr, how you doing, buddy?
Awesome. How are you?
I am fantastic. We always start our fireside chat with an icebreaker, so I'm going to lay it out there for you. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
I'm down for it. I will say this, though. Somebody introduced me to this to prove me that it was good, and it's not pineapple and ham. It's pineapple and pepperoni.
A little bit of the extra spicy in there with the sweetness.
Whatever it is, it works. He talked me into ordering it when he said, "I'll change your mind," and he was right.
Fantastic.
So pineapple and pepperoni. Get that ham out of there. Pineapple and pepperoni.
One of the things that I'm keen on saying to people when they tell me they love pineapple on pizza is, do you actually like pineapple on pizza, or do you have to have it with other stuff? And if you have to have it with other stuff, then I don't know for sure if you actually like pineapple on pizza.
I haven't tried it, just a pineapple pizza. But if you think about like pineapple and like cheese, I feel like a Southern Easter casserole has that thing going on. So it probably would work. I would try it.
I'll let you give it a test and let me know. How's that?
All right. I tell you what, my daughter's coming home this weekend for Easter, and I was thinking about making some pizza dough so we could have pizza night one night when she's here. I might go buy a pineapple and try it.
There we go. There we go. I want to get started on your foray into endurance sports as a kid. When we talked, it was BMX racing, and your personality would scream BMX racing. So which came first, right? Chicken or the egg? Was it the BMX racing that led to the Loehr that we know today, or was Loehr led to the BMX racing?
I mean, it's probably both, if you back up a little further than BMX, I actually ran a little bit when I was really young. Like the YMCA back then was the babysitter for everybody in town, and they had track meet, and I ran. I grew up 2 blocks up the street from the UGA track too, so I used to run down there and do little local meets and run home. But running was always boring to me, and we all started BMXing, and once I kind of got into that, I was like, screw the running stuff. So, and that was like late 70s, early 80s when BMX was like on this trajectory.
Yeah.
And it was a Southern California thing, which to us was the Holy Land, the promised land. Like we all wished we'd been from California, and it was a wild time.
What was it about BMX racing? Was it the speed? Was it the competition? Like, what was it about the racing?
It's a little bit of all of it. It's hard to say. I don't know. The bike has just kind of always had me. I mean, I can remember the first ride I ever took without training wheels vividly, and the freedom I felt, and just holy shit, I got it. And that feeling has never really gone away. Whenever I get on the bike, it's hard to. I don't know how it grabbed me. It just did.
It's funny. I was having a conversation late last week, and I said, I'm a runner by talent, but I'm a cyclist by heart. Like, you put me on.
That's me too. As fucked up as this is, I might be a better runner, even though I feel like riding a bike is the only thing I've ever actually been good at.
You get on the 2 wheels, and there is just something about tooling around town, going up and down climbs, right? The difficulty in getting to the top, and then freedom.
And as a kid, the world expanded. When you're young, like it's your room, and then you expand out into the rest of the house, and then maybe the yard. But the world is that small, you know, and then you get on the bike and holy shit, I can go up to the store 2 blocks away. Like the world just tripled in size.
So let me hear your ranking when it comes to road cycling, mountain biking, gravel cycling. How do you rank them?
I'm a mountain biker, number one.
Number one. What's
Yeah,
number
and I
two?
mean gravel and road would probably be a tie for me. Those are kind of the same. I call gravel riding dirty road biking. I mean, we used to do that before it was even a thing. Like we used to go out on our road race bikes just with 23s, you know, blasting the same dirt roads that I post riding all the time now. We used to do it on regular road bikes all the time.
By the way, dude, right? Like I don't know what you did as a kid or as a young adult, but if photography wasn't it, it should be because the pictures that you post are amazing.
Thank you. It's kind of in my blood. My father was a photographer, but I've never bitten the bullet and gotten bit by the bug of photography. But it's probably a little bit in my blood.
I would think so because I mean, and what you've done recently, probably in what the last 30, 45 days with the black and white images that
Mhm.
you're now posting. Here's the thing. In the green room, we were talking about emotions and
Mhm.
how we should figure out how to share our emotions, be emotional, cry, laugh. Your images, when I see them, elicit an emotion in me. And that is an amazing thing to be able to do in a world today, right? Where
Yeah.
I open up Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever social media platform you want to open up, and there's images everywhere. It's just constant
Yeah.
images.
Yeah. Bombarded with it.
You are bombarded with it, and yet your pictures will have always, and even more so now with the black and white, created an emotion. And I think that is a talent that most of us don't have.
Hmm. Well, I think maybe you should go into your photo library and reuse some of your old stuff, but just convert them to black and white and see what happens.
I'll have to give that a
I'm
whirl.
not gonna lie. I read it somewhere or heard it somewhere that black and white is a certain grit and a certain the tone of it is just more gritty. And I thought, you know, that kind of is what I'm sort of trying to say. And it's weird. It's kind of a contradiction because I'm colorful, crazy. Like you can't bring me the '80s neon. Like I can't stick to that black and white thing all the time. I got to throw color in there. But I agree. I think that the black and white just brings a whole nother perspective. And you can, you know, again, you can recycle, you know, other pictures and it's almost like you did something completely different.
But when you drop in that pop of color, it jumps even more
Yeah.
off the screen now too.
Yeah.
We're talking about perspective here between colors and black and white, and I want to go straight to that word because it's a word that has been driving me probably for the last 12 months is perspective, especially
Mhm.
with growing this community and this company and everything else. You have perspective, in my opinion, from two different scenarios in your life. In the How It All Started feature, we talked about the darkness, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. So, can you help the audience understand what it is when I say from darkness to triumph when it comes to your story?
I mean, I'm a recovering alcoholic, and I've managed to get sober going on 8 years. It'll be 8 years in August. My story is that I nearly died. I actually drank myself within a millimeter of my life. So that would probably be my rock bottom, my darkest spot that, you know, got my attention and got me sober. And it took that for me to quit. So that would be the depths of darkness for me. And there's a whole other thing to unpack on, you know, how I got there. It's a lifetime of really darkness, if you will, but that's my rock bottom.
How did sports, running, swimming, cycling, if at all, play a role in pulling you out of those depths?
I wouldn't say that's what pulled me out of it. I damaged myself to a point where I was told a lot more than once that I need to be careful pushing myself, and it's not a good idea. You know, keeping my heart rate, you know, below 90 to 100, that kind of thing. Uh, but in the span of, you know, that trip to the hospital, basically at the snap of my fingers, went from a complete junkie to completely clean and scared to death doing everything the doctors told me to do, diet, uh, everything you put in yourself, the medication, all of that. And I did that for a couple of years, basically sitting on the couch, scared to death what I'm putting in my, scared I was going to die. Like I came that close to dying, and that scared the ever living shit out of me enough to scare me straight, so to speak.
Yeah.
But after my body got over the shock of it and I got more healthy, it was really getting under my skin just sitting still. I just couldn't stand it. Because I like you said, I raced BMX, I did BMX freestyle, had a half pipe in my yard and all. Raced jet skis. Jet skis kind of got me into mountain biking in a weird way. We were doing that, but I didn't live close to the water, so I needed a way to cross train during the week. So I got a mountain bike, and in the span of about 12 or 14 months, that was it. I was back on the bike. So I've always kind of had that. Even though my drinking got in the way of it and I was never the athlete that I probably should have been, I've always been that person. So I was alive, but not living, sitting there. And so I didn't tell anybody, but I kind of quit going to the doctor because they're just telling the same thing over and over and over again. Take the medicine, don't do anything. It's like, fuck, I'm not doing anything anyway. So I quit taking the medication and didn't tell anybody and didn't notice any difference other than it wasn't like a soul suck. Some of the medication just was soul sucking terrible. And once I felt like I was kind of okay, I just got up one day and told my wife, I said, honey, I'm going to ride my bike, and if I die, at least I'll die happy. And that was it. And it was a huge struggle, but it was also a huge challenge that I was somehow stubbornly up for.
As you were battling the sit at home mindset that the doctor had implored on you, were you a father already at the time?
Oh yeah. That was, again, it was 8 years ago. My kids are 20 and 22, about to be 21 and 23.
So
they were, 12 and 14. Is that right?
Yeah, that math adds up.
14, something like that.
Yeah. So when you decide I'm not listening to the doctor, I'm going to go out and ride the bike, like what role does being a father play in that too?
Let me also say that I don't recommend doing what the doctors say don't do.
Yeah.
But it worked for me. I'm some kind of miracle. I'm sure I'm a case study in a whole lot of ways with that whole thing, but I want to be clear that I don't recommend necessarily going against medical advice.
And before you answer my question, last week we had Steve Epifano on the show who had an issue with his heart, and he followed his doctor's orders straight through A to Z. And he was also ants in his pants type of person.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
I understand.
Yeah. And he was like, look, doc, I need to go do something, right? We've got to figure this out. And they gave him clearance to take baby steps. Mm-hmm. And then he realized, like, once he started taking those baby steps, he now wanted to take bigger steps, right? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, this baby step didn't hurt. Nothing impacted me. I want to take 2 and then 4 and then and grow from there. Mm-hmm. But I want to go back to the question, which is like, what role did being a dad, you're a husband and you had this conversation with your wife. What role did being a dad play in that situation as well?
As far as getting back on my bike or?
Yeah. And saying to your wife, hey, if I go ride my bike and I don't come back, at least I died doing something that I love, right? Yeah. Your kids have to factor into that decision-making process too. Because at the time, like you said, they're, 12 and 14 years old, I'm guessing.
This is going to sound crazy, but I'm not really sure I thought about that much. Mm-hmm. At that point, I was just miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I was glad I was alive. I was happy that I'd gotten through that. I wasn't really struggling with thinking about using or anything, but I just was dead inside because I was, the one thing that really has always fed my soul, I couldn't do. And I finally just broke and was like, I don't care about the consequences. I'm going.
Yeah, see, I think these are why
it's crazy, but I don't remember really thinking about that.
And I think that's why these conversations are important, right? Because the reality is what you do and how you do it is going to be important in your decision making. Yeah. Somebody listening to this conversation,
it was selfish, probably much like what put me there in the first place.
Maybe, but maybe subconsciously, and maybe you can think about this at some point. You might have been thinking to yourself, I want to show my kids that we can still do hard things, that we can go do things even when
Yeah,
we get knocked down, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't, this idea that everything has to be black and white
yeah,
is something that I struggle with, because my traumas and the things that I've gone
yeah.
through in life are different than your traumas and the things that you've gone through in life.
Yeah, and the solutions are not just black and white too. That's like and I'm going to continue on the theme of addiction. Like that's like saying AA is the only way to get sober. Well, that's a completely wrong. Um, I say there's no wrong way to do the right thing. Like if you do whatever and you get sober, stay sober, and how's that wrong? Like
Yep. We've had plenty of
some
people come
things
up.
have a way of just. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, we've had plenty of people come on our show who started in AA and they were like, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And they've been sober for however long they've been
Yeah.
sober. And again,
Yeah.
right, the idea of there are more than one path.
Yeah.
to
There's more than
success.
one way to skin a cat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that completely. And it's very complex. I think that although we all share all of the same chemistry that causes and all of that stuff, we share it, but everybody's situation is a little different, some a lot different. Everybody's journey is, a different, way to get there.
Yeah. I think it's the reality that we see in our sports, right? Like if everybody was going to do the same thing, we'd all be running 5Ks or we'd all be running marathons.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
that's like saying one training philosophy works better than the other. Well, I mean, again, I'll go back to a lot of the people that I admire. Most of them don't exactly do what most of the talking, and not that the talking heads don't know what they're talking about, but most of the talking heads preach, 80% slow, only fast, blah, 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 blah. But most of the people I know that are just baller ass athletes, they run like their hair's on fire every time they run. Every single day too. Like, I mean, I'll use the Cameron Haynes thing. I mean, dude runs 20 miles every day carrying rocks up a fucking mountain. Like, and he's 57 years old and can run like a 2:45 marathon. Like,
right. And if I tried to do that, I would be laid up in bed for weeks on end, right? It goes back to this idea. You have to find the thing that works for you. Yeah. And I think that you have to experiment. And I think the reason why we don't, I'd love to get your thoughts on this, because you seem to be a tinkerer and an experimenter. Mm-hmm. The reason why most people don't do that is because they're worried that Susie in Savannah or Tom in Tacoma is going to either stop following them or leave a nasty comment.
Yeah, they're going to tell you, hell, you shouldn't do that, shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. I mean, I agree in principle to some degree, but I mean, how will you ever know if you don't try? I mean, that's why we do it in the first place, right? How will you ever know if you do it if you don't try it?
Like I saw a post this morning from Craig Lewis, who hosts our Running Tales podcast, about going to the gym in your running shoes and how some people will gatekeep that. Like, you should never do that.
Like, stop it. They're in the gym. I don't care if they go wearing dress shoes and suit pants and an undershirt, man. They're getting their work in. Stop.
Right. And here's the reality. Like, not everybody has the ability or the privilege to afford multiple pairs of shoes to go do multiple different things.
I cheer for people, man, big, small, old, young. I mean, I looked like a middle schooler in my neighborhood doing intervals on the street yesterday. I stood there and watched her, and I was like, that's fucking awesome.
Exactly.
I was like, that makes me so happy.
Yeah. Like celebrate it all, man. Like, celebrate it all. Yeah. Look, I mean, you talked about being on the, a millimeter away from the brink of death, right? Yeah. We all only have one of these opportunities. So
nobody gets out alive either. It's in game for all of us.
Yeah. Like, there's no chance I'm going to sit here and tell somebody that what they're doing is wrong if there's a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, and that's an interesting, I didn't mean to interrupt you. That's an interesting perspective that I have too. Like, doing it your way, living it your way. I mean, if you're happy with whatever it is that you're doing, if it's sitting on the couch, eating Cheetos, drinking beer and having a steak every single night, but you're truly happy, what's wrong with that? Right? Like, I'm, whatever it is, if you truly are happy and content, I mean, you're winning at life.
I was once asked about Run Try Bike and if there has been any backlash from talking to everyday athletes. And I was perplexed by the question. I'm like, backlash from who? Like, who? Like, what do you mean backlash?
I
And the
got news
thought
for you.
was,
99% of the people paying attention are everyday people. It's not the celebrities and rock stars. They're not, I mean, they're awesome and I'd love to whatever, but like they're not the ones. There's way fewer of them.
way fewer of them. Because look, when it's all said and done, right on a podium, let's use Western States as the example because they go 10 deep. That's 20 people out of 369 that start that event. That means there are 349 people that are not getting up there
Yeah.
and onto the podium, and clearly there's a lot more of those, right? So yeah, like we do our thing our way, and we love it. I get to talk to Loehr Young of all the things in the world, right? Like that's fucking cool,
Yeah.
man.
How does that happen?
I put up a post and I say, "Who wants to talk to me?" And Loehr says, "Yes." It's as seriously as simple as
Of course
that.
I want to talk to you. Are you kidding me?
I want to jump in. I want to talk about
You
you.
run the steps at the Hollywood Bowl every Saturday. Of course I want to talk to you.
I'm a star, baby. I'm a star.
That's right.
I want to talk to you about the tattoo. I mentioned it in the preamble. We talked about it a little bit in the back room. For those of you who don't know, on his left arm, Loehr has what looks to be a butterfly tattoo, but it is the feet of his children as newborns, and it is in this captivating turquoise color that is just mesmerizing. And I saw it the day he came on the camera. And I still think about it to this day because there's so much symbolism in it, right? It's the start of a new life, it's growth, it's your kids, it's a butterfly. There's just so much to it. And talk to me about why you decided that this was how you were going to honor your children and being a dad.
I mean, do you have any tattoos?
I do. I've got 4 of them.
Yeah, so it's a little bit addictive, right? If you
Yeah,
get
I've got
started and you
5.
kind of go crazy, and you want to, or at least for me, I wanted to sort of honor things about me and things about my life, and things that I love, things that move me, and then also silly stuff like this. You did all so, but that one was just I saw foot. I'm not sure if I actually saw a butterfly, but I saw some stuff with like kids' footprints. And for those of you that don't have kids, I don't if you know they at the hospital it's almost like fingerprints. They do their hands and their feet and everything. And I saw some stuff with that, and I somehow figured out or saw it that they can be made into a butterfly if you put them opposing each other. And I was like, oh fuck, I'm going to get that tomorrow.
It's I mean, it is one of the coolest tattoos, and I've miscounted. I have 5 of them.
Yeah, I'd lose count. I forget they're there.
I'm in the market for another one too, but
I mean, I have all kinds of crazy ones. Like, and our family has always used that. This too shall pass.
yeah,
My mom used to say that, and her dad used to say it and stuff. So one day I was sitting with my mom, and I handed her a Sharpie and a piece of paper, and I said, "Hey, write out this too shall pass a couple, 3 times for me." And she just wrote it out. Then she kind of stopped and was like, "What are you going to do with that?" I was like, nothing. And it's on the inside of my arm right here. It's right next to the butterfly.
What was your family's reaction to the first tattoo that you got? Do you remember?
Nobody really said much.
Okay.
So my first tattoo is a funny story. So my wife got a couple of tattoos way before I did, and I was always a little bit. I wasn't against it, but I was like, I'm not sure if there's anything that I would think is cool when I'm 80 if I live that long, So
Yeah.
I was a little hesitant to try to put more thought in it and whatever. But we were at lunch one day, and this is way back, having some beers, having some fun, and she's on me about tattoos. So I was sitting there thinking, what could I call her bluff with? Like, how could I call her bluff? And I said, let's go get wedding rings. And she goes, let's fucking go right now. She didn't even blink. She didn't even blink. Like I was trying to bluff her, and she called my bluff in half a second. So there you go. We went and got that. And
That's
that was where it started.
What a fantastic story. You stuck your foot right in it, man.
Yeah. I mean, all of mine. My first big one is the feathers on my forearms.
Okay.
That one actually has a crazy story too. So my father died when I was 15, and his ashes are spread in Lake Hartwell, which is a lake that's close to here, about 40 miles north. And there's a great mountain bike trail at that lake. And I used to go up there on the anniversary of his death sometimes and just go by myself and ride those trails. And I found that feather on one of those rides.
No kidding.
And I took it to our friend who's a tattoo artist and said, I know this is good. Everybody's going to think I'm copying Dave Grohl, but I don't want this feather on my forearms.
When you're in the middle of a hard workout, hard interval, or you're just having a shit day while you're out there training, do you look at the tattoos? Do they bring you some moment of perspective and peace that you're like, I can get through this because this is the wedding ring, then my kids, and the feather that represents my dad.
I mean, I don't really look, but I do. All of that stuff goes through my head. The last couple of years, it's really been, if Sabrina can endure all the shit that she's endured, I can get through this run. Maybe.
And if you don't, you're just going home when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it all, right? We
Yeah.
put a lot of heaviness onto completing a workout, but the reality is, and I go back to that word perspective. Okay, so I was supposed to do an hour and I did 45 minutes, right? Like when it's all
Yeah.
said and done, sometimes you have to pull the ripcord
Yeah.
in order to fight another day.
I've really only had to do that a couple times. There's been a couple times I've gotten into a speed workout and I just something just boom, nope, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. That's
You
happened a couple times. I haven't done it in a race. I mean, I've slowed down obviously in races before. Just like last year at the Peachtree, I pulled up and walked for a minute just because I thought I was going to die. But
do you have any stories from races where the wheels just came straight off the bus and you're like, oh my goodness, why is the finish line not getting any closer?
the first time I ran the Peachtree, that is absolute. But I ran my fastest time ever that day. So the wheels came off, but somehow I just didn't look at my watch and kept running and still, like I ended up in the top 10 in my age class at the Peachtree Road Race, which is to me is phenomenal.
It's huge to race too. Yeah.
I mean, last year at the Peachtree, the wheels came off. I was like, I got to walk for a minute. I have to. And the marathon distance has I won't say wheels off, but I hadn't figured that one out yet.
Do you have a sort of a mindset when it comes to racing? So I'll give you my example. So for me, it's all gas, no brakes, and sometimes the wheels.
I say I have some self-control, and I do to some degree, but usually, like if you total, I mean, I'll quote what another person that I follow and admire so much, Ken Rideout, is fucking win or die trying, man. Like maybe not literally, but kind of.
Right. Yeah. Like for me, it's when I'm at the start line, like I'm slamming on the gas pedal. And hopefully I have enough gas in the tank that it runs out literally one step after the finish line.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you, man. I feel like if you finish it and you don't feel like you're going to die, maybe I feel like you definitely could have run faster if you don't hit the line and have to hold on to something to keep from falling over. Like, I mean, I am good about adjusting that depending on the distance of the race. Like I don't take off. Like the 2 times I've run a marathon and the half marathons that I've run and even 10Ks, I don't take off with that mile goal pace at the beginning.
No.
But I mean, in a 5K, I've almost run a personal best mile in the first mile of a 5K a couple of times. And, that one's short enough. You can kind of get away with that.
Yeah. I raced Black Canyon 100K a few years ago, and I set my 50-mile PR in the middle of that 100K, which is bananas, right? But I was fit and I understood the assignment was to get to the 100K finish and not set PRs at 50-mile races. So yeah, I'm not saying light the firecracker and go on a long distance event like that. Like you have to understand what you're capable of doing in your training.
You got to look out. Like, how am I going to feel in 5 hours if I don't slow down?
Right.
Like,
your training should indicate all of that stuff. Like that should absolutely be paying attention. But my point is, like at the 100-mile distance for me, which is my favorite distance, right? If my goal,
I do want to try the ultra, but oh my God, that is just so intimidating.
Here's the thing. Like if my goal is to break 21 hours, I can't start out at 12-minute miles because I'm just going to get slower as the day goes on, right? You're going to get exhausted. So I have to get out there and accumulate as many miles as I can while I'm as fresh as I'm going to be, because I'm not going to get any fresher throughout the day.
Yeah. Yeah. That one, I can't speak to experience. All I can say is that the marathon so far for me has not gone as expected. Like if if you look at the times I've managed to run in the mile, the 5K, 10K, and the half marathon, I mean, it like a 3:15 marathon, and there's nothing easy about running a marathon. I don't
Yeah.
mean this literally, but a 3:15 shouldn't be all that hard. And most coaches that have looked at my numbers are like, you should be shooting for 3. And honestly, having done it a couple of times now, I'm like, I don't fucking know if I could run 6:25. Like I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm capable. I don't know.
It
But so
is
far,
hard.
I'm going to go with no.
The results have said no.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's
this last one, man, I took off way conservative, man. I ran it easy, and I still at mile 22, man, my hamstrings started cramping a little bit, and I managed to get through it a little better, but still, I ran like almost the same time as I ran the year before, like, which is still good. I mean, I ran a 3:29 something, which is still fast, but it's just not. It was a little bit of a letdown, but I mean, this year, like I did nothing but marathon training. I stayed off my bike. I took a bunch of rest days and everything, and still fucked it up.
it just goes to show you that this shit is hard, right? Like
it is. Marathon is hard, man.
Like,
some people just run it like it's no big deal. I don't know.
For those people who are posting out there on social media, like, oh, just to this and just to that, and acting like this shit ain't hard, you're lying. You know you're lying, and I know you're lying because this stuff is hard.
I mean, it may come easier to some people, but I want to, using that, I want to talk about, I said earlier that I feel like the only thing I've honestly, and this is the truth, that I feel like I've ever been any good at is riding a bike. And something that I realized in this, getting sober, getting clarity and all that stuff, and coming back to cycling and being maybe a better cyclist now than I've ever been, just because I'm physically fitter and more with it, clear-headed, a million reasons. But I feel like the bike is the only thing I've ever been good at. You know what's interesting that just kind of hit me right in the face? It's also the thing that I've by far spent the most time practicing. And the fact that it is the thing that sets my soul on fire means that none of it felt like work ever.
Yep. I mean, that is a testament to the whole idea of, if you want to get good at something, you got to keep doing it.
Tom Morello talking about playing guitar. Everybody knows who Tom Morello is, right? Guitarist for Rage Against the Machine. Everybody knows that, right? Yeah, I read something that he was talking about playing guitar, and he said, you know how you learn to play guitar? You sit in your fucking room and you practice for 1,000,000 hours. And when you're finished with that, you do it again.
Yep.
I was like, that's it.
Conversation this morning I had was, if you really want to get good at something, you have to get good at accepting the boring, right? Because you're going to do it over and over and over and over again. But that muscle memory kicks in, and that's how you get better. And then you find the next challenge, and then you do that repeatedly, and you get better, and you just keep growing from there. Which is going to put me into the position of asking you. You did a triathlon last year,
a sprint.
And where does that take you now? Is the triathlon bug scratched, and you're moving on?
I'm not crazy bitten by it, but I do want to do it again. But I haven't been swimming. I got to swim, but I can't swim. So, I mean, I ended up doing really, really good at it. I qualified for nationals, it turns out, the first try. So they keep sending me stuff, want me to go, and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. But I need to learn how to swim.
So if you're willing to try that, you mentioned the whole idea past the marathon. When does that start to creep in a little bit? You've got plenty of great woods out there. Yeah, you got plenty of great woods out there in Georgia.
I came close to doing. There's one at Fort Yargo, which is a quote unquote easy trail.
Yeah, good luck with that.
And I thought about doing it the last 2 years, but it's like 3 weeks after that marathon. And this year I felt more recovered, where I could probably stumble through it, but it was pouring down rain for like 3 days. And I just was like, I probably don't need to do it anyway. And going out there and running in 45 degrees in rain in the mud, I'm like, I'll just wait till next year. But I'm going to do it. But I recently got invited into a club team. A bunch of my buddies started a new endurance club team for mountain bike racing and road racing, cross and all that. So I just committed to doing a little more bike racing this year. So
Oh, phenomenal. So it's all in Georgia and there are other
I mean,
clubs?
it's kind of everywhere southeast or anywhere anybody wants to go. But what I've decided to do, at least to start with, is concentrate on the Georgia State Championship Series and see if I can't win the overall in my age class.
And that's
So,
all.
and that'll be one of those races. Might be in Tennessee. I forget the schedule, but it's about. I think it's like 6 races.
And what's the season? What's the time frame that it runs?
It's like over the next over the next 3 months ish,
Okay.
something like that.
Couple races a month.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple races a month.
Dude, that's exciting. Are you fired
I don't
up?
have the schedule in front of me. The first one is not this Sunday, but the next Sunday.
Like that's super exciting. I mean, are you fired up about it?
Yeah. So believe it or not, I've never actually won a bike race. I've come
First,
real fucking close, like seconds.
well, I'm gonna need you to win more than one bike race if we're gonna win the overall. So we gotta shoot for more than one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I know that, barring something silly, I'm capable of the top 3 more than likely in my age class. At every race. I'm not going to say I'm going to just win them all, but I'm capable of podium. And I think if you do all of them and stay up there in the front, I've got a chance at it points wise.
That's phenomenal. So we're running out of time here before we jump into our rapid fire food questions, but I want to make sure we touch on your posts. Again, I go back to your posts lately, which tells you I actually read them, dude.
I read yours too, man. I might slack off a little bit, but I come through and go back and back check stuff.
Yeah, I know you do. There's one thing I love is like once a week, maybe twice a week, every morning, because I'm on the West Coast. I wake up and there's a whole bunch of heart emojis and flame emojis from you on our stories. I appreciate it.
I'm the emoji guy. I admit it. I love the emojis.
Talk to me about this 4% concept. It's a thing that you started to post about probably in the last couple 3 weeks. It has a ton of impact for me. I know when I'm thinking about things, how did it get started, and explain to the audience what it even means?
I don't even know where I saw that, but I saw it or heard it or read it somewhere that an hour a day is 4% of your time. And it's kind of crazy because going back to 5 or 6 years ago when I kind of was getting back started again, I started trying to concentrate on getting an hour of exercise, not necessarily every day, but trying, as I was building back up to it. And it just recently I revisited it again, and I was like, that's really powerful, man. When you talked about perspective, right? So when you put that in perspective, an hour is 4% of your time. I mean, that's not a lot. I mean, I waste an hour on TikTok. Like, I mean, so in all honesty, not to be brash, but like if people say they can't get an hour of time for themselves, I mean, you're already doing it. You're just not doing it on that, right? You're just making excuses instead of making the time. So especially if it's only 4% of your time, I mean, that's nothing. So to me, that is perspective and motivating, and hopefully, I'm working on some things with that too that I'll share in the future to hopefully motivate people, to take on 4% of their day and do good for themselves.
Well, you've got a home here when you're ready to make the big announcement. We'll bring you back on for sure.
Yeah. But like I said, I can't take credit for that coming up with it. I saw it somewhere, but it just, again, I revisited it here recently. I was like, that fucking really hits home to me. And I feel like the world needs that too. I feel like the world needs to put it in perspective that, to take care of yourself is only 4% of your time. And, there's just no reason not to do that.
Yeah, and I think the reality of it all is, again, do the thing that sets your soul on fire. So if reading for an hour, journaling for an hour, meditating for an hour, do that, whatever that is.
I mean, every fucking step counts, man. I mean, to me, yard work is harder than actually riding my bike or running or any of this stuff. So, I mean, it counts, man.
Yeah, I just wrote a post on LinkedIn as to why I don't mow my own lawn, but totally different.
Damn, man, my wife, they put mulch on sale at Lowe's a couple of weeks ago, and next thing you know, I'm moving around 200 bags of mulch, putting them out around my house, and that was harder than running a fucking marathon. I'm telling you right now.
I believe it. Those things are probably 50, 60 pounds a bag?
I don't know. Probably 40 or 50 pounds. I mean, because they're wet, because they're dyed and stuff. It's just a disaster. I hate yard work. I try not to use the word hate. I try to keep that out of my vocabulary, in all honesty, because that's just not great. But I kind of hate yard work.
You're not going to get an argument from me.
I don't like doing yard work.
The story goes that I was about 13 years old, and my father was like, "You got to mow the lawn." I was like, "Yeah, I'm just not doing it anymore." And he's like, "Well, you can't play baseball in the yard, and you can't do this in the yard, and you can't do that in the yard. If you're not going to do the work, you can't get the rewards." And I was like, "Cool." And I jumped on my bike and I rode to my buddy's house, and the wind in my hair and everything felt great. And I was not mowing, raking clippings, bagging, and doing any of that stuff ever again. Because to your point, I don't like to use the word hate, but man, there's a strong dislike for yard work.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Some people, I get it. Gardening that's the thing, man. I get it.
Yeah.
It's cool. Not for me.
Not for me either.
I mean, I like fresh vegetables and stuff, but sitting there and talking to the plants and watching grass grow, no. I mean, I'd rather go for a mountain bike ride and jump off and hug trees and stuff than cut the damn grass. Like,
I'm with you. The idea of riding the bike is definitely going to take precedence over any of that stuff.
Like, I'll go forest bathing with you, but you can have the lawnmower.
What's a hobby you have that isn't swimming, cycling, and running? I
mean, I don't really do anything that's not hobby wise. That's not the exercise stuff. That's just, off and on been me my whole life.
Would you describe yourself as being one of those people that just has ants in their pants? Like, I got to go do something else.
I mean, kind of, I kind of, I mean, I can sit around with the best of them too, but I again, like talking about rest days and stuff, like I struggle bad with that. I'm like, I got to go ride or do something, but I'm going crazy.
Yeah. Lori will always say, like, if I'm sitting down for more than 5 minutes without writing a note down for a new business idea or coming up with some other thing, like I've clearly hit my level of exhaustion, because I've always got to be doing something and thinking about something and writing something down or working out.
That's awesome though.
Just constantly.
I mean, it shows in all of the stuff that you do. I mean, it shows that you're a busybody and your brain's always moving with this stuff.
Sometimes to my own detriment. Like there will be like a Friday afternoon at like 4:00, and I'm like, I'm going to bed right now. That's it.
The afternoon nap, man. I remember reading somewhere in a mountain bike magazine years ago. One of the pros was talking about, the coveted professional athlete afternoon nap. Like,
if there's anything I do really well, it is absolutely nap. I would put myself on the Mount Rushmore of nappers for sure.
That's where it's different. Like, I can definitely take a nap on the beach and just sit around and, I can handle.
Oh, that's super interesting, because on the beach, I could never. But if I'm at a dinner table and I'm tired, I could take a nap sitting at the dinner table. But like lying on the beach, which should be totally relaxing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to get up and want to throw the football and stuff and play frisbee or something. But I can definitely take a nap listening to the waves hit the shore.
I hear you. Hey, did we ever settle our score or bet on Clemson, Georgia? I bet you we haven't.
No, I
probably owe you something for that.
Nah, Georgia ended up stinking it up anyway.
All right, man. Before I let you go, we have our rapid fire food questions, and to this day, I still not sure why we call them rapid fire, because if you want to think about it and answer, that's cool. You don't have to. There's no off the cuff ding dings. You ready for them?
Okay, let's go. What's my answer supposed to be? Yes or no? Love it? Hate it?
Just express your answer however you care. That's why I say I don't know why we call them rapid fire food questions.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Oreos. Are you an old school Oreo guy, a double stuff Oreo guy, a thin Oreo guy, or a cakester Oreo guy?
I mean, I'm not the guy that's going to turn down any Oreos. I mean, bring it on, man.
Here's a question I just posed on Threads. Is there another product out there that can be great as a cereal, great as a cookie, and great in ice cream? Because Oreos hits all three of those without a problem.
Yeah. I mean, you could crunch up a Snickers bar and make that work all in there too, right?
Snickers cereal? You sure? I don't know.
I put chocolate chips in my cereal just because, you measure that shit with your heart. But yeah, Oreos would work. Oreos would work.
Licorice, red or black, or none of the above?
I actually kind of like them both. I mean, it's not my go-to, but I like them both.
Are you a Twizzler or a Red Vines fan?
Probably Twizzlers.
Did you, as a kid, did you cut off both ends and use it as a straw?
Absolutely. With strawberry mix in my milk.
Oh, that's a curveball. I like it. I usually used it in a Coke. I don't know why.
I mean, we're old school, man. That was when this stuff was in a metal can too. Like, I mean, our Hawaiian Punch or Kool-Aid or whatever. I mean, you had to open it with a church key. It was metal cans, man.
That's right. That's right. Fun Dip or Big League Chew?
Oh man, that's tough. That's tough. I like them both. Great Big League Chew is like a favorite for about 5 seconds till
Yes.
the on.
The idea that they were manufacturing and parents were handing out Fun Dip is bananas to me. I mean, it's literally a powdered sugar with a sugar stick. Like,
yeah, what's wrong with that?
Hey kid, calm down.
We're endurance athletes. Come on, how are you going to function without sugar?
Oh,
maybe that's why we all turned into endurance athletes.
Yes. Candy corn. Is candy corn a real candy, or is it just earwax covered in sugar?
No. You know, the best way to take care of that is just straight in the trash.
Yes. What
it's like Peeps. No one eats Peeps.
Yes.
Nobody. No.
Yes.
Shit is nasty.
I don't get it. I don't understand.
I mean, I love marshmallows, but those things are terrible.
So great segue. Marshmallows. How do you toast your marshmallow? Are you like slightly toasted, or you want it as a charcoal briquette?
I don't want it completely charcoal briquette, but I do like it burned a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm a charcoal briquette guy, and I learned this from a guest we had. They said burn it to a crisp, peel the layer off, right? Eat it, and then put the marshmallow back in again and get that toasty. And it adds like another layer of flavor.
Never tried that. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
All right, I'm gonna rapid fire you real quick. S'mores.
Go ahead. S'mores are all in. Sign me up.
Right, me too.
Shout out to Santino Williams, who has taught me that if you put a Reese's peanut butter cup instead of just a regular Hershey's chocolate into the s'mores, you're double winning now.
Yeah, that's next level.
That is next level. Dude, by the way, he is one of the greatest commenters on food conversations you will ever see. Like, he will write paragraphs of his answers for food answers, and I can't get enough of them. Like, the dude should just write a book at this point.
Oh, I don't know that I've seen that. You need to show me who you're talking about so I can look it up.
I'll tag you in it.
Yeah.
Creamy or crunchy peanut butter?
Crunchy.
How do you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And I'll give you your options. Do you put peanut butter on one slice of bread and jelly on the other and then smash them together? Or do you put peanut butter on one side, jelly on the same side, and then smash it together?
Peanut butter on one, jelly on the other.
And then smash.
And smash it.
Do you cut it into 2 triangles or 2 rectangles? Or do you just go all in?
All in.
And do you eat from the middle? Or do you eat like a typewriter, corner across, corner across?
All over the place. I'm just all over the place. I got to get it. Wherever the jelly's leaking out gets the next bite.
Yes. Is red velvet cake
a lot of jelly on mine, just so you know.
Okay. And I'm the opposite. I'm more of a peanut butter guy.
But I could live off peanut butter and bananas and coffee, probably.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, I eat a lot of peanut butter.
Is red velvet cake a real flavor, or is it just chocolate cake dressed up to go to the prom?
I mean, have you ever had a good old great-grandmother's Southern red velvet cake with homemade icing and everything?
Yeah, and I totally understand it.
It's a standalone thing, in my opinion. It's its own category.
We've had people comment on YouTube and a couple of other places, and they have said the same exact thing, which is, have you had a Southern grandmother's red velvet cake?
Like we have a friend of ours who actually he bakes them from time to time to sell them, and it's literally, I think, his great grandmother's recipe that he won't share with anybody. And dude, I'm not even really the biggest fan of red velvet cake in general, but the ones that dude makes, it's like his, way back 2 generations, holy shit, they're good. Like, it's a whole nother thing. Like, there's cake and then there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why this conversation came up is because, you go to like a Kroger or a Ralph's or whatever the local grocery store is, and they try to sell you what's essentially red food dye chocolate
Yeah.
cake, and they're charging like $3, $4, $5 extra. And it's like, man, this is just chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Like, stop playing, fool.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had one from like the store that is in the same sport as what, like great grandma used to make.
It's not. It's not even
But
close.
you know what though, man? Sometimes the grocery store will surprise you though, because you know where, in my opinion, the best carrot cake on the face of the earth comes from?
Presuming the grocery store.
Publix, man. I don't know. You don't have them out there, I don't think. But if you're ever traveling, it's a little square in a plastic thing in the damn deli. I swear to God, it's the best carrot cake you'll ever eat.
Do they put raisins in their carrot cake?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because for me, a carrot cake is my favorite cake, but it has to have raisins. That little extra bit of sweetness, it needs to be in there.
It's so good, and I don't know if it's got raisins in it or not.
Your next
And I
bike
don't
ride.
disagree with that. You could add raisins to just about anything and make it better. But I'm telling you, the best carrot cake I've ever tasted is that pre-made one at Publix. I'm telling you.
Favorite flavor of ice cream?
Oh man, that's almost impossible. I don't know. I've got so many favorites. I don't know, man. I mean, there's one called Tin Cup that Bluebell does that I'm super fond of. The Briars with Snickers in it's really good. Rocky Road of any kind. Mint chocolate chip with chocolate syrup. I mean, it's rare that I try an ice cream that I don't like.
Very rare for me too. Favorite candy bar?
Probably Snickers.
Snickers.
The chocolatey Payday is probably a close second, if not right up there with it.
That's a good choice too. I'm a 100-gram bar kind of guy.
Those are, see again. I mean, it's Zero Bar. You see my ride store stops. I'm always getting either a Zero or a Payday or a Snickers or something, and a Coke, the Mexican Coke if they happen to have it.
Yes, that is the combination to fuel all bike rides: a candy bar and a Mexi Coke. Like it is, like rocket fuel.
I mean, I've even gotten ice cream at a store stop a couple of times in the middle of the summer. I was out with a buddy of mine last year, and it was like August. I mean, it was 200 degrees outside and humid and stuff. And we were dying, and we get to this store, and he's over getting ice cream. I was like, shit, as terrible as that sounds, that's a great idea. I'm getting one too.
I love it, dude. Chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin cookie?
Chocolate chip.
Pop-Tarts, frosted or unfrosted?
Frosted.
Tuna, egg, or potato salad?
Oh, egg, probably.
Last one for you. There's a tray of brownies that's come out of the oven. It's cooled enough that you can actually handle it. Are you going to the corner? Are you going to the edge? Or are you going to the middle for the ooey gooey?
I'm going to the corner because you get two edges.
That's right. That's right. Hey, dude, thank you so much for being a great guest. Where can people follow you and follow your escapades? Because they are fantastic from my perspective too, and I enjoy them every day.
I'm most active on Threads and Instagram, and it's just at Loehr Young, which is spelled weird. You'll have to, I guess, look at it on the screen. It's LOEHRYOUNG.
And we'll drop it in the show
on both of those.
And we'll drop it in the show notes as well. Appreciate your time, dude. Thank you so much. We'll see you on Threads and Instagram.
Thank you so much.
For those of you who have joined us today, thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. Please make sure you subscribe, rate, and review so that we can continue to bring you great shows like the one we just had with Loehr Young. The Everyday Athlete Podcast Network is where you can find these stories. And if you visit runtrimag.com, across the top on our header, we have a spot that says Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, and every one of our shows is there. So you can watch it on YouTube. You can listen to it on Apple or Spotify. The greatest gift you can give somebody is of their time. So thank you for giving me the gift of your time. And we'll see you next week on Fireside Chat.